Concord Food Co-op. Greg's back in the house. Morning, Greg.
Good morning.
Good to have you back.
Yeah, love the show.
And Dave Clark 5, catch us if you can. We happen to have a couple of folks in with us this morning. Rosemary Heard, President and CEO of Catch Neighborhood Housing. See?
So good.
30-year-old Concord-based nonprofit organization that strengthens our communities by creating opportunities for affordable quality housing for people otherwise not being served. Catch proudly owns and manages 325 quality affordable rental apartments across Merrimack County that over 600 children, adults, and seniors call home. Rosemary, welcome.
Thank you so much for having me.
How did Capital Steps do before I move on?
Capital Steps did wonderful.
It's because you were on the air with us, that's why.
Thank you. Yes, it was, and we are very grateful.
No, happy to do it. Awesome show. I've caught the Capital Steps a few times. Oh, my God, they're great.
And there's no shortage of fodder.
Oh, no. On both sides of the aisle.
Absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely.
And on your right speaker this morning, Nancy Paul, Executive Director of the Friends Program. The Friends Program was founded back in 1975, and it was late. It was late. Early 80s. A friend of mine was the head of the Friends Program at one point. And he loves it. Connects at-risk kids, seniors, and families experiencing homelessness with people who can support them. Friends served 4,500 people last year through a one-to-one youth mentoring program, an emergency shelter for families, an intergenerational classroom mentoring program, and senior volunteer program. Wow, that's a lot of stuff.
It is a lot of stuff.
Wow.
There's a lot of work to be done.
And it's not just Concord.
That's correct.
It's big.
We serve 8 of 10 New Hampshire counties, depending upon which program you're looking at.
Wow.
Which are the two you don't do?
It's the far north.
Yeah. Co-O's, that's a world away.
Yeah.
Co-O's Grafton?
Yes,
okay.
correct.
Yeah. Okay. Logistically, a little harder. But you still have at-risk people up there too.
That's right.
So depending on what area you go to. So why Friends and Catch, Greg? Interesting combination. I like this.
Well, usually you say, Greg, what's new and happening at the co-op? So go ahead and ask.
Greg, what's new and happening at the co-op?
The Rounded Up at the Register program.
Why do I feel like a chimp when I do that?
It's okay. You're doing your job.
Okay, fine.
Rounded Up at the Register. So the Concord Food Co-op has a new register system that allows this function, so that with every purchase now at the co-op, you have the opportunity to round up your purchase to the nearest dollar.
Oh, round up.
What a great idea.
Okay,
What a great idea.
So this program just started last month. And,
Is this your idea?
Well,
you should get a raise if it is. I know. I'm saying it's a good idea.
It took a long time even just to implement it. Since we got the registered part, the technical aspects of it. So we were driving it for a while. But Rosemary had been at another co-op and said, they are doing this, Greg. Why aren't you doing this? And, it would be great if you could do this.
Boy, pushy. I like that.
Just a little.
You don't ask, you don't get.
Exactly.
Okay? No,
exactly.
I get it.
So I said, Rosemary, we're working on it. You're the second to bring it up, the second nonprofit to bring it up. So you are, the NOFA was the first last month.
Okay.
And so Catch is this month's recipient. So for the entire month, they receive any of the dollars. And the Friends program is next month's recipient. So that's why they're both here. And the program, it's working great thus far. We're halfway through the month, and there's already been $1,800 that has been set aside through this program.
Wow. And it's easy for the people that come into this. I mean, it's an easy thing. How can you say no?
Absolutely.
How can you say no? We just round it up.
I mean,
well, yeah.
I'm at 18 and a quarter. Yeah, take it to 20.
Yeah.
Okay, $1.75.
Yeah.
Boom.
The average transaction is 39 cents. So that's but 39 cents, and we're at $1,800.
Plus 39, plus 39, plus 39. Sure.
And it's I have to have a shout out for our customer service staff, because they're the individuals asking the customers.
Yeah, and they're doing an incredible job.
Yeah, and as they continue to do that, they're the ones that are actually, it is our clientele that is providing the funds, but they're doing the work to ask the question, and that consistency is what thus far has raised $1,800.
To me, that makes contributing a lot easier than the little cans that are around. Because I get change back. I'm trying to get out of line. Okay, I'm not standing there fumbling with
That's right.
Okay, this is No muss, no fuss, no bother. Boom.
And
Thank
credit
you.
card transactions make it really easy.
Yeah,
Sure.
yeah. No, this to me is brilliant.
And
I would think
they do have the opportunity to do an additional donation because individuals are saying, well, can I give $10? So
absolutely, yeah.
yeah. So now
No.
yeah.
Who's going to say that?
But they had to look
not
at
tried the other day.
but it's additional functionality at the register, so it's like, well, let's figure this one out. So
Is anybody else doing that around here?
There are different entities that are doing it. Yeah,
That's fabulous.
Yeah.
What a wonderful idea.
and in this particular area, I just don't know that they're doing it as consistently in the Concord area. But co-ops definitely are at the forefront.
Well,
of this,
you'll be the model now for this, which is great.
Yeah.
A catch. Is there a catch? Because you do Merrimack County.
Yes, we
Is there a
do.
catch? Rockingham catch? Cheshire County? Is there a catch? I mean, or are you just one catch?
We are on the affordable housing side limited to Merrimack County today.
But are there other organizations
Yes,
like you?
absolutely. So there's
each county has one.
NeighborWorks Southern New Hampshire
Okay,
serves
okay.
Manchester, Nashua,
Right.
Lakes Region Community Developers.
Okay.
Obviously in the
Yep,
Lakes Region.
yep.
Head up in Littleton, beyond the Notch.
Mm-hmm.
So the whole state is actually very well
Do you work
served.
together, or are you separate
We do.
entities?
Well,
okay.
we collaborate at every opportunity that
Right.
we can.
Now, how
We're
can
separate
how can you
entities.
collaborate?
Share ideas.
We share ideas, absolutely.
Did I ask you?
I just knew the answer. I raised my
I'm
hand.
asking the one with the glasses. Okay.
So about 6 months ago, we received some grant funding
Okay.
to really sit down and talk between the four organizations about areas for potential collaboration
Okay.
that go a little bit deeper than just sharing ideas. We all do the same thing, and the world is changing. Grant funding is going away, and we need to be smarter about how we deploy our resources. So we're very excited to at least be having that conversation.
Where does the funding come from the Friends program, for the Friends program?
The Friends program, depending upon the program, the funding comes from all different sources. Some of it comes from federal, state, and local governments. A lot of it comes from individuals. We have fundraising events over the course of the year, and we have a fair amount of foundation grants.
Now, when you say state government, is that through legislative initiative or departments giving you the money?
So in this particular case, it's the Bureau of Housing Supports for our shelter,
okay.
And that's the state funding that we receive at the moment is through the shelter, because the state has a vested interest in making sure that folks are sheltered, and so there's a money that comes down from HUD that the state actually uses as state grant and aid and collaborates across all of the shelters in the state to provide this set of funds available to ensure that folks have adequate shelter.
Now, both Catch and Friends program, been around New Hampshire 30, 40 years. Basically, you become part of the landscape, which is good, but
And
not
bad.
good. Yeah.
Yes.
But now we seem to have moved into an era of being really socially conscious and responsible. Is this good for you? Are you both organizations in the right place at the right time now for people to say, I want to get involved, and look, there's a place for me to do it?
I absolutely believe so. Thank you for having us this morning, because every time that we get an opportunity to talk to the public, we show people a little bit more about Catch. We share with them the impacts in the community. So radio, TV, all of the media.
Oh, that's radio.
Exactly. Yeah. So for people who are interested in Catch, our website, www.catchhousing.org, has all of our impacts on that. There's a special impacts page. There are ways to help us. So we look for volunteers. We look for donors. If you are doing estate planning, for example, it's very easy to give away money while you're alive, and it doesn't impact your life today. So those are all kinds of different ways that people can support what we do. We have an incredible board of directors and staff. So while I would love to work my way out of a job and not have affordable housing be an issue in the state, sadly, I think it's here to stay, and we need to be smarter about how we deploy our resources.
Didn't you just create some opportunities, or are in the process of creating opportunities up in Franklin?
We did a fabulous project in
That's what I
Franklin,
thought.
42 units, mill rehab.
The mill building.
Right on the river.
Right.
Yeah.
And what's wonderful about it, beyond the obvious impact to the people that we serve, is the fact that this really is a catalyst for future development right in that area. It's the largest investment that Franklin's seen in 30 years or more. There are now others looking at this opportunity, both on the market rate side as well.
Mm-hmm.
And remember, healthy communities have a range of housing options, not just one type.
That makes sense. Nancy, same question. Friends, you're in the right place at the right time to capitalize on people's awakenings?
We have tried to do that, and I think what's important is that the Friends program has always sort of met the needs of the community as the community's needs have evolved. When we started as a juvenile diversion program.
Right.
When shelter became something that the city needs someone to step in and take on, we did that. When the state needed somebody to pick up the foster grandparent program and provide some intergenerational mentoring in the classroom, we stepped forward and did that. And so I think what we're trying to do is we're trying to look at what the needs are today. In this community, we're going into a strategic plan process this summer and looking at what we think they're going to be in the next couple of years, and then also looking at what people are able to do and how the giving in the community has changed in terms of service. Funding is always important, but also service. What are kinds of opportunities do people want to do, and how can we look at meeting the community's needs in ways that fit with the way people like to give their time and their energy today?
Nancy, can you talk a little bit more about the emergency family shelter that you have? Because I think it's the only family shelter in our area, is it not?
It's the only shelter that specializes in serving families in Merrimack County. So there's other shelters, but they have different charters.
Belknap House up in Laconia. Yeah.
And so we serve 8 families right now. We're going before the zoning board for a renovation that we're about to undertake. You'll be hearing a lot more about in the next couple of months. And families come in, any adult who has a minor child, more than 50% of the time can come into our shelter, and we work with them to establish what it is that's preventing them from being housed, and then really provide case management and individualized support and solutions to help them overcome the barriers that they're experiencing.
Is there a typical length of stay?
So the average is somewhere between 3 and 4 months, but a lot of that has to do with the lack of availability of affordable housing, which, that's our common thread here, right?
Yeah.
So we do really work hard to partner with existing agencies. We're not trying to duplicate services. And our role is to get them into housing as quickly as we can. And the other thing, I think, which is related to the renovation that's upcoming, is we really want the kids that come into our shelter to not know that they're in a shelter.
Right.
So
it's important.
Mom and dad can work with us in whatever way they need to work with us, but we really want the kids to have an experience where they feel comfortable, they feel safe and secure, and we're providing an environment that meets all of their needs. And whatever supports mom and dad might need for the kids, we're going to put those in place too. Because a lot of the families that come in are coming in out of traumatic situations.
Sure.
And so we work really hard to try to identify what it is that they need and then meet those in an evolving way.
You don't need to further stigmatize, which makes sense.
That's right.
Yeah.
And we're going to have to take a break, but we have politicals, as you saw, come in, and one of the things Pat can just testify to, I keep screaming about affordable housing.
Thank you.
You can do all you want about attracting businesses to. Great. But if they don't have a place to
Where
stay,
are they going to live?
then or if it's going to cost more than 40% of their monthly income, then they're going to go to Maine. They're going to go to Vermont. So we need to deal with. And they go, yep. I'm hearing crickets, but come on, guys, let's go. So yes, I am.
Thank you.
I'm fighting for you on that one.
Thank you.
We'll take a break. Oh yeah, and Greg too. Rosemary, Nancy, and Greg back with more right after this. Okay, the roundup. Is that officially underway at the co-op now?
Yes, it is. Round It Up. We had complaints about calling it Roundup, so Round It Up at the register.
Nice. Very good.
Again, anyone is
you
welcome.
You could have made lots of money if it was Roundup.
No.
It's a carcinogen,
it's a bad. It's a bad word.
Anyone is welcome to shop at the co-op. So anyone that wants to come in and shop and round it up and give an extra donation for Catch this month, and then the Friends program next month, and the additional recipients for the remainder of the year on our website. And next year's recipients we're taking nominations.
Oh.
And the membership will vote for the 12 recipients.
Oh, that's awesome.
That's
next
wonderful.
year.
That's great.
And that will be at our annual meeting in September. The membership will vote and decide who the 12. But we are taking. They can email the co-op or go into the co-op as a sign-up sheet to nominate a nonprofit. There's probably already about 30 that have been nominated for next year's recipients.
And I bet your customer service team is also raising awareness.
Oh, totally.
For maybe that somebody that might not know.
Wait.
And the other thing I think that's important, I was in line the other day and there was a young man in front of me, a teenager, and the lady at the register said, "Would you like to round it up?" And of course, he had no idea what she was talking about.
Mm-hmm.
But he thought about it and he said, yes. So I think this is a great way to teach philanthropy at a tiny level.
Yeah.
And I grew up in Ireland and they say that money is made round to go round and flat to stack up. So great way to teach everybody.
And if you would like to weigh in on this, A, you can shop there, or B, pony up $100 and become an owner of the co-op, so you can vote for it.
Nice.
Absolutely.
And that's what I would suggest. And the the different nonprofits in the community, they should say, in their email blast, if you're a member of the co-op, please vote at the annual meeting to support their
And it's
their
very
favorite.
cool. The logo shows up on the checkout screen. It's wonderful. Thank you.
You like doing this, don't you?
I love doing
Yeah,
it.
you should do that. Well, she's just kind of settling in. I'm liking this.
It's only a half hour, actually, an hour.
Can we get a little thing that says Rosemary sat here? Wow. I think when we talk about the Friends program, people, I've heard about it. Again, Friends served 4,500 people last year. Think about that number.
We
That's a huge impact.
It's not just,
Huge
well, we
impact.
took care of 38 people.
Yeah.
We're talking thousands of people. So when you hear the Friends program, realize it's probably bigger than what you think.
Yeah.
Their mentoring program is fabulous too, and there's some great stories of individuals that have an individual that has mentored a child for many years, and they maintain that relationship for long after that. But if you talked a little bit about the mentoring program too, and there's a great place to volunteer.
Yeah, so our mentoring program, one-to-one youth mentoring program, we find that people make these relationships. They commit to a year to mentor a child, either at a site or a community-based relationship. And I heard a story yesterday about the mentee who the mentor attended their wedding, and now the mentee is in California, and every year, she gets a call on Mother's Day because she's been such a powerful force in this mentee's life that 20 years later, that relationship is still going on.
What's the time involvement in a youth mentoring program?
So the mentoring program, we ask in the beginning that the mentee and the mentor are meeting every week. And in the long term, it's a little bit more flexible. But a lot of our mentorships last for years. And the idea really is that we're helping at-risk kids have someone in their corner. They have someone who they can count on, they can rely on for advice, support, guidance, and really just to know that there's a cheerleader for them. And so for an at-risk kid who really doesn't have a lot of support networks in their family or their home.
Which makes them at risk.
Right.
That's exactly right. Yeah, it's an extraordinary opportunity for them to really know that someone cares about them and is only advocating for them at all times.
Nice touch.
Yep.
Nice touch.
And it really
Wonderful.
can make the difference.
It can, yeah.
Rosemary, the Capital Steps program that was at the Capital Center for the Arts,
Yes.
that was your big fundraiser for the year?
That's our big fundraiser
Okay.
for the
Do
year.
you have
Now-
other things going on as well?
Well, we do. And this is our 30th birthday this year.
Right.
So we are working on an event for later in the year.
Okay.
We're not really ready to roll that out yet.
Okay.
But
When
it
you
will be
are.
Well,
it
let us
will be
know.
a little
When you
different.
are.
Yeah, when
Yes,
you're ready,
thank
come on
you
back.
so much.
Rosemary
Thank
sat
you.
here. We can do that. Wow. All right. Very quickly, because we're winding down.
We got like a minute left.
Okay. Again, anything besides round it up going on?
We continue with the Field Day May. So
right.
Leslie is doing demos of the budget-friendly Field Day product all month long. And next week it's beans and rice. And so very affordable products. that are
Organic and budget-friendly.
Organic, good for you. And budget-friendly, good for you.
Yeah.
And next month, it's all about local. And the schedule, again, is on the Co-op website. If you want to see what local products Leslie will be demoing throughout the month of June, it's
Yay,
all
Leslie.
under shop.
Yep. ConcordFoodCoop.coop.
Yeah.
And just a note that the co-op is such a great resource in this community. It's a great place to shop, and they're really very supportive of all the work that
Absolutely.
organizations like ours do.
Absolutely.
We really appreciate them.
That's awesome.
Thank you.
It's wonderful.
So who's getting the benefits this month?
Catch.
Catch is.
And then
is.
Friends
Next
is
month.
next month.
Yes.
Yes, we're going to
Do
have
we
a check
know-
presentation.
Have we planned a month out yet?
Oh, the schedule's there.
For the rest of the year.
In-Town Concord is on the schedule.
Great.
Great
the Concord
organization.
Coalition to End Homelessness, SPCA. And there's we have a location in New London, and there's a nonprofit from New London that's on the schedule.
Sweet.
Excellent.
Wonderful.
Well, thank you to Nancy Paul, Executive Director of the Friends Program, Rosemary Heard, President and CEO of Catch, and Rosemary's Baby, Greg.
Thank you.
From the Concord Food Co-op. Oh, come on. You know I have to do it.
We may never get over that.
If you're in the mood for real food, it's Concord Food Co-op.